Alright guys, here we are in section 9.2.2. We got a math notes video today on solving absolute value equations. To solve an equation with an absolute value algebraically, first we want to isolate the absolute value on one side of the equation. So what we mean by that is we want to get this part of the equation by itself on one side of the equal sign and everything else on the other side. So to start that, I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 5. Should make a little note here that you're not allowed to distribute through an absolute value sign. So we can't distribute that 5. We need to divide both sides by 5. So that gives us the absolute value of 2x plus 3 is equal to 7. And now we're going to move into the next phase of solving the problem now that we've isolated. So now we want to determine the possible values of the quantity inside the absolute value. So for example, if we know that 2x plus 3 or the absolute value of 2x plus 3 equals 7, then the quantity inside could either equal 7 or negative 7. Right? Because if this equaled 7 inside, then that would mean the absolute value of 7 was 7, which we know is true. If it equaled negative 7 on the inside, the absolute value of negative 7 is also 7. So we have two options that we need to check out here. We need to check a positive option and a negative option. So down here, I'm going to set up two equations. I'm going to say 2x plus 3 equals positive 7, and I'm going to solve that through. So minus 3 minus 3, 2x equals 4, divide by 2, big one there. So x equals 2 is one of our solutions. Another solution happens when we take that 2x plus 3 and we make it equal to negative 7. So same process, subtract 3. So now we're subtracting 3 from a negative, so that's going to be negative 10. Divide by 2. X equals negative 5. So we have two solutions for x here. We have x is equal to either 2 or negative 5. We can check that by plugging it back in. Always a good idea. Might get you an extra credit point on the test too if you check your work. So if we plug in the 2, which was our positive solution, I'll do that in blue just to stay consistent. 2 times 2 plus 3. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7. Absolute value of 7 equals 7. We did negative 5. 2 times negative 5, that's negative 10, plus 3, that's our negative 7. The absolute value negative 7 is also positive 7. So both of those work. Here are our two solutions for x. And this is just a note down here that reminds you of the thing I said up there, which is you can't distribute across an absolute value bar. So right now I have two problems that I want you guys to look at. We have a top one here, which is very similar to the one we just did, and a little bit trickier one on the bottom. See if you can figure out why the bottom one is going to be tricky. We'll talk about it in class. All right, guys.